Boom. Okay, one sec. Boom. No, I'm not. Hi guys, Ian, Oliver. What's up, man? One of the best transformations my clients did. Oh, join from the gym doing cardio. There we go. That's one way to do it. Perfect. So how this works usually, I think I have 5 viewers right now. I talk about my own experience with drug addiction and my recovery right now in the hopes of inspiring or helping people. So this is what it's for. And all my YouTube videos and this live stream is sponsored by Jack Factory in the back right here. Ian, you know what's up with Jack Factory. Code AV on the website. It's in this description, so we can just check it out if you want to support me. All right, well, hi guys. Usually, like all the meetings that the real meetings, the 12-step meetings, we always start with the serenity prayer. So I can show you guys what that is right here. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So accept the things you can't change, ask courage for the things you can change, and know which is which. Very important. So that's that. It's always good to it doesn't have to be a prayer. Sometimes I even wrote my own prayer one time when I was living in a shelter. I put it on my door, and because I knew right outside the door the devil was there. I was in the shelter, right? I was supposed to be away from like drugs and stuff. I was after a rehab. I got sent there by mistake. And right outside the door was addiction everywhere. So I made up this prayer. I gotta find it again. I made this prayer and I put it right on my door. And every time before I stepped outside the door, I would read that every time, without exception. Even if I had to go pee or something, I would read the prayer. I'll find it for the next stream. It's pretty cool. I should make a T-shirt with it or something. Jason Eddy is saying that thing has been more for me over time, almost getting more value the deeper I look into it. For real, this serenity prayer, if everybody would follow that prayer, if everyone would follow that prayer, the world would be such a better place. And when you first hear it, you're like, whatever. But you actually understand that if you just follow your life, following like what that prayer says, it's like super, super powerful. I wonder who chose it. Because the thing that's funny is that this prayer, it was not created by the people who created AA. It was actually, it's somewhere in the Bible. It's actually a long prayer. But that part, they were like, hey, this makes a lot of sense. And they took it, and this is like, that was like the base prayer, like the main one in the 12-step program, which was just AA at a time. Alcoholics Anonymous, not Antoine Anonymous. Antoine Anonymous is right now. But very good prayer. So with the live stream, what I do usually is that if anybody has a question, I usually kind of stop what I'm doing and go over the question, talk about stuff, and sometimes people in the chat, they chat with each other, they say what's up, they just interact and help each other out. So it's pretty cool. Every Friday we do this. But if there's no question or anything like that, I just talk about my own stuff. And I just go over the just for today. It's like just a daily reflections, which it's good to read every day. I don't every day, I get busy, but every Friday and every time I do a meeting, we go over it, and it's very good. And over the years, I've probably read the Just for Today in total like a few times because, I've been in recovery for 10 years. Clean for 4 years now, but, so there was 6 years I was still in recovery, but I had little breaks where I would just go back. So Taylor Jane is asking, What is the thing you can't change? You need to accept that you find the hardest. Hmm. The thing I can't change that I need to accept that I find the hardest. Well, I think it's something to do maybe with like other people. You know, sometimes it's very hard to accept people because we can't change people really. You know, people change themselves, but we can't change people. For the longest time, it was hard for me maybe to accept, um, you know, the way my dad was maybe when I was younger. That took a while for me to accept it. And what helped me actually is myself. You know, becoming addicted to drugs, and then just like losing everything. Right? You would think like this guy, this athlete guy, pro bodybuilder, Mr. Canada, would like be able to just like get his shit together and use his discipline to stop doing drugs. And then I realized, oh, I lost everything twice. So I guess my dad had the same thing. So that helped me accept the way he was. I accept him the way he is. And I got the best relationship I've had with him in my whole life right now. Maybe except when I was a little kid. It was 2 years I was living with him and stuff. It was very nice. You know, I would rather stay with him than be at my mom's because my mom had a new boyfriend back then I didn't like. But yes, I'm grateful for that now. And the thing is, sometimes like the struggles in your life, when you overcome them, and it just makes you it's part of your character, right? So that was hard for me to accept, though. I think that's one of the things that was the hardest. Um, there was a lot of things that was hard, but I think just maybe people in general. Sometimes things my exes did, it's just the way they were. Wish they were different. It was hard to accept. It was hard to accept sometimes, like that I have to break up with somebody in the past. You know, I think it's the hardest thing for me to accept. It was probably regarding relationships with people. So I think that's the answer. Jason Eddy says it says to me awareness. I think he's talking about the prayer again. It says to me awareness, which is a deep as perception. I believe perception is vital to notice. I like the word patience. Yes. Patience is a good word. Is it? Let's see the prayer still. The word patience is not in prayer, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a good question, Taylor Jane. I wonder who that is. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna put the just for today reading on the screen, and then maybe we can start reading that together. Oh, June 20th, 2025. Meditation for beginners. Oh boy, meditation. You know, that was for before going to rehab, right? My life was so fast paced. Like there was no downtime except when I would like sleep from exhaustion or something. But it was always go go go, and even when I wasn't competing, there was always something going on and stuff. And so it's like, I never had really quiet time, because it's kind of in the quiet time that you start feeling yourself. So I would always try to stay busy, do stuff, and then when it was quiet time, I would start maybe feeling the pain more. And then I go to rehab and they tell me I gotta meditate. In my head, meditation is like I gotta sit like crisscross applesauce with my like a Buddha with my hands, and just do humming sounds. And I was like, this it was so hard for me, you know, because with my attention span, if I in my head, if I just let my head go, it goes. I'm gonna think like 5 thoughts in like a minute, and not even like 10 seconds. And it's good for ideas, honestly, because it's like they just come at me from everywhere, from the other realm. But it can also create problems, because if you just follow some of these thoughts that are kind of like just popping in, and then you're impulsive, and then it creates a lot of problem. Like, you know, the reason why is I probably like tried the drugs in the past because I was impulsive and these thoughts came in. But meditation is like you focus just on one thing, and then one thing only. Meditation often than not, it's breathing. People like say focus on your breathing, and then you only need to control and think about your breathing and nothing else. Very hard to do if you have an active brain. But yes, it was a very big contrast when I went from like the fast pace, the fast life to like just, oh, I'm in rehab now. There's no drugs, there's no party, there's no loud music, there's no crazy intense, I was training in the gym there actually a little bit, but yeah, so let's do the reading. Meditation for beginners. I feel like I'm a beginner, so it's going to be good for me. For some, prayer is asking for God's help. Meditation is listening for God's answer. Quieting the mind through meditation brings an inner peace that brings us into contact with the God within us. There's one thing I'm going to admit, though, that every time I've meditated, even if it's just a minute, on the breathing, quieting, I always feel more relaxed after. So it's like, why are we not doing this? Why am I not doing this more often? We're just sitting down, just stopping everything you're doing, sitting down and just doing nothing, which is not nothing, right? It's just meditation. But I like the fact that prayer is like you're kind of talking to God, right? And then meditation is like God speaking, like just you're listening. You can ask something, like for example, like, God, are you there? And then you let the space be, and you wait for an answer. And I've always felt there was something after my request. What is that? It kind of freaked me out because I felt something. You always feel something. You could the next time you're by yourself, you can try this. You can just say, God, are you there? And then you just meditate and just breathe and just try to listen. Try to listen to something. It's like there's something goes in that space. So, good. Chris is saying, on May 28th, it was my 1 year sober date. You have been such a big inspiration. Thank you so much for your openness, my love, and appreciation. Chris, you're going to love this. My clean date is also May 28th. Oh, shit. What are the odds? May 28th is actually it was my 4 year clean and sober date. So you can run with that. We get the same clean date. We're like clean date brothers. Chris, if you're a man. I'm assuming you're a man. Chris Braunberger. Yeah, synchronized. That's right, Jason. Sometimes things just happen. People love numbers. Will be like 2, 8, 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5. There's 5 fingers in the hands. We have 2 hands. It's a human number. We're humans. We're connected. You can make a lot of connections with numbers. That's what schizophrenic people do. But anyway, let's keep going. Basic text page 46, 47. It says, be patient. When you're learning to meditate, many of us were told it takes practice to know what to listen for. It takes practice to know what to listen for. That's interesting. We're glad someone told us that, or many of us would have quit after a week or 2 of meditating. For the first few weeks, we may have sat each morning, stilled our thoughts, and listened, just as the basic text said. The basic text is like the main book of the Narcotics Anonymous program. But heard nothing. We listened but heard nothing. It may have taken a few more weeks before anything really happened. Even then, what happened was often barely noticeable. We were rising from our morning meditations, feeling just a little better about our lives, a little bit more empathy for those we encountered during the day, and a little more in touch with our higher power. That's true though. Like after meditation, it's like your day is gonna be better. You feel better, more relaxed, and you created space to make the right decisions maybe. And for me, that space to make the right decision is very, very important, because I used to feel like, oh, I have a thought in my head, I should do it because I feel in a certain way. Very reactive. But if I have a thought and then I just create space and just try to like really listen, wait, is that really the thing I should do? Like, it's only in that space, that empty space of quiet after a thought comes in, that you can actually think, is that the right thing to do? And usually, like the first thought, they always say it's not the right one, right? Because it's like being impulsive. It's always the second one or the third one is the best. It's when you ask yourself, is that the right thing to do? You know, like, let's say I'm going to punch this guy in the face because he said he cut me off in the, I have road rage. That's your first thought. But if you're just like, okay, let's just wait. And then you breathe for like just 2 or 3 breaths. Just silence. And then you're just like, okay, is that really the right thing to do? And then like in that quiet moment, the answer will come to you. Who's telling you the answer? Is it common sense? Is that? Some people say it's the higher power. You know, like earlier I said, God, are you there? And then I felt something, that feeling. Well, if you say like, is that the right thing to do? And then the answer will come in. I mean, that's kind of like a thing. Like, it's like practicing, right? Let's say if you're getting really, really good at that, you have like the meditation and like listening muscle really developed. Well, imagine like how many good decisions you're going to make in your life. If you would pause and think at every decision you make, I mean, I'll speak for myself. If I would pause and really listen and then follow through with the right thing to do, I would make the best decisions all the time. But I don't know if it's the reality, right? But you can be closed. A goal could be close to that, right? Being close to what? Some people could say being close to God. Well, what does being close to God mean? Well, being close to what He would do. So we could get like in a lot of woo thing like that, but in reality, you can really just do the right thing all the time with just common sense. Could be common sense. Could be like, you know, the righteous path, whatever it is. We all know the answer, unless we're psychopaths or sociopaths or any type of paths or whatever. But, you know, we want the good paths, not the sociopaths. So we're going to pause and take a little moment of meditation. And then in that moment, you know, if you ask what's the right thing to do, it's going to come. All right, so let's keep going. For most of us, there was nothing dramatic in that awareness. No bolts of lightning or claps of thunder. Instead, it was something quietly powerful. We were taking time to get our egos and our ideas out of the way. In that clear space, we were improving our conscious contact with the source of our daily recovery, the God of our understanding. So this is important. You know when people say God, like, oh my God, people like, they'll scoff or they'll just say like, I'm not religious. But I like the part of our understanding. So you, Jason, Eddie, you said taking a step back to see the whole picture. You know, I don't know if you have a God or not, but whatever it is yours. It is a God of your understanding. Even if it's Mother Nature, even if it's Jesus, Allah, whatever, right? It's the God of your understanding. And this is all you need. You don't need anybody else's God, and other people, they don't need anybody's God but their own. And it turns out sometimes there's a collective of people that have the same higher power through religion, which is fine. But this is very important. In the program, we always say a God of our understanding. So if you hear me say God, it's not your God, it's my God. We might have the same one. I believe everybody has the same, but they just like talk about it in different ways. Jason Eddy says, I personally think we mirror the God in ourselves. My aim is to bless without gain. It's funny because in some religions they say that God created the human in His own image, and then you're saying that we are the mirror of the God in ourselves. Very similar, right? So there's a lot of messages that are similar across multiple religions. They're all saying the same thing. You know, just do good. You know, do good and just try to follow God's path, whatever that God is. Okay. Yeah, Chris, congrats again on 1 year. Amazing. So let's finish this just for today here. Meditation was new and it took time and practice. But like all the steps, it worked when we worked it. Yeah, people ask, like, does the program work? Like 12-step program. Yeah, it works if you follow the steps. It's like, oh, can you build this IKEA furniture? Yeah, you can if you follow the instructions. Very, very simple, right? Same thing. Okay, and the last part of the text here is a little recap, and it's making you. It's like a little self. How can I say that? You kind of saying that to yourself, to just like think and just act on it, and you know, just for today, I will practice listening for knowledge of God's will for me, even if I don't know what to listen for yet. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier. In that little quiet space, you can ask God to like, on like what to do, what's the right decision. That's God's will. If you're helping an elderly lady because she's kind of looking lost, and you're trying to like guide her through the bathroom or something, or she falls down and you pick her up. That's God's will. You're doing God's will. That's what it is. If you don't care and you just walk and because you whatever it is, right? I mean, sometimes you don't want to stop your whole life if you're gonna get somewhere because somebody depends on you. That's the right thing to do right now too. So you always try to follow God's will. But even if I don't know what to listen for yet, that's interesting. I will never fully understand what the hell is going on past this dimension and this material plane, right? I don't have to understand everything. I can't understand everything with my brain anyway, because it's like something like higher than me. But I can practice listening for the knowledge of like what the right thing to do is, what God's will is for me. Sometimes like we go on the why, how, and why, and this, but it's more like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to make the world a better place? So that's good. So I hope you guys like that. You have any questions for that? I'll leave it on a little bit while I read this. Chris, you were supported by family or friends? So yeah, friends and family. I was lucky that my mom was like supporting me. She was always she was like my last resort, last little crutch. Last little like on a cliff. It's like somebody that just catches your hand before you fall, like the raccoon in Ace Ventura at the beginning, the second one. I just grabbed the hand. I was the raccoon and my mom was Jim Carrey. She saved me many times. Then what's funny? She would save me one time. I would run back on and just fall down again. And she would catch me again at the end. So shout out to all the moms out there. Probably stressed her out more. Now I have a son. I know how stressed out she probably was, and I feel bad about it. But I try not to think about that because it's a reality that didn't happen. I made it out. Chris is saying, I lost a lot of family and friends through substance abuse, but I owe a lot of my girlfriend and therapist to help me choose peace and mindfulness and have the courage. I'm sorry about your family and friends. Must be hard, and sometimes it must be really hard if everyone around you is like that, because it becomes even more normal, maybe. Like Chris, how did you feel about it? Did it make you feel like what you were doing was like almost like I guess I don't have a choice, that's my life, or you just fell into it also, and then you were like, yeah, man, I really want to get out of there because everyone around me is like that. Or maybe like for me, the decision that made me try to start my recovery is that when my friend passed away, and he said, you got to go back to bodybuilding, you got to stop doing this, and then he kind of ran away and passed away, and they found him dead on Christmas Eve. It was really sad, but because of that, that was my catalyst in making the decision of starting my recovery. So Chris, like when you lost some people that you love, was that made you want to stop? And the thing is, for me, once I made that decision, I didn't stop right away. I only stopped like 6 years later. Like I stopped, but I would relapse all the time. After 5 rehabs, I did it, 4 years ago. So I'm going to read this comment by Weapon X. God's will is strange. It's like you're pulled towards something, but not sure if you should do the thing. I've been trying to do it. And then she's asking, what's the worst thing that could happen, especially if you did something good? Yeah, sometimes it's because the good thing to do doesn't align with what we want. And it's not convenient for us. So we can find excuses not to do it. I think we can like just... Oh.
I'm grabbing protein.
Oh, grabbing protein. Jack Factory protein, Code AV.
Yes.
Is that the vanilla?
I have to find which one.
Okay. But yeah, it was the worst thing. Of course, the it's not the worst thing that's going to happen if you make the best decision. It's the best thing that's going to happen. The worst thing is going to happen if you make the decision that's like just selfish. Which flavor are you looking for?
I'm doing chocolate peanut butter.
Oh, chocolate peanut butter. That's nice.
I'm making
What? Okay. Oh, it's weird because in the screen you were walking this way. I was so confused. Shout out to my wife. She's supporting me. So, yeah. Was there a time, like people in the chat, was there a time in your life where you had a decision to make? You knew what was wrong, what was right, and you still chose the wrong one? So, that happened to me a lot. I would make I knew what was wrong, but I didn't care. I just didn't want to do it anyway. Just for the thrill or whatever, right? I'm just reading some comments here. Those people sucks. But I think they're just afraid. Have no idea to support you. Then Chris said, sorry, I meant mostly friendships because my friends kept partying and I didn't want to be around it anymore. It's hard to walk away when you have to walk away from the people that don't. Yeah, I know. It's let's say if you love people, but they're the ones like triggering you and kind of making you use drugs, or they are using drugs themselves, as you gotta cut them off. Usually, it's like it kind of like happens by itself, you know. Like if you stop doing drugs, and then you ask your friends to do normal things that don't involve drugs, and then you say I can't do drugs, they usually end up not even seeing you anymore. Because what was holding the relationship together? Was it just drugs? If it was just drugs, then the relationship fails and falls apart. So then you lose some friends, I guess. It's normal. It's sad, but it's normal. Ian Oliver says, a tale as old as time. Doing the thing we want instead of should. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's called being self-centered, being selfish. Yeah, I was like that. Probably still am sometimes, you know, but like not to the level that I was. Jason Eddy says, I find my friends in places like this, strangers but kind. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I like a lot about recovery, is that if you meet somebody that's also in recovery, or like in the meetings, like part of the program, like NA or whatever, I could walk up to like an NA meeting in the United States somewhere, and then I don't know anyone, but at the same time, I know everyone. So, yeah, it's like I really like that. Sometimes like for example, like let's say if your enemy is my enemy, we're friends. Well, if addiction is both of our enemy, we're gonna kind of be friends, you know. I always like perk up, and I'm really happy when I go to an expo or something and I hear somebody else is in recovery and they go to meetings, then I can talk to like them about that, and then we have something in common. So it's really cool. Webanex says, sometimes people just aren't meant to be in your life for more than a short time. Sometimes they are just meant to teach you something. Yeah, that's one way to get at it. You know, it's like trying to stay positive, right? They serve a purpose at that time, and then boom, it's like everything, all the people I met in my life, all the breakups I've had, relationships that ended, and all that type of stuff, it led me here. And here is pretty cool. I got a wife, a house, and a son. So it's like I don't want to change anything. You know, all the people I've hurt, and all the people that hurt me, I don't want to change that, because now it's like I don't want to change anything. So if you're struggling right now, it's like there's a reason. You know, you got to be looking back. Once you're like sitting up on your porch and everything's nice, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that's why it sucked back then. You know, if I could just tell myself, like, every time that it really sucked in my life before, hey, you'll be good, you'll be fine, like in 2025, don't worry about it. You'll be like with a wife and a kid and a house, and no, you're not gonna be dating that whore anymore. I'd be like, what? But I love her. Nope. It's not gonna be that. It's gonna be much better. Saying you in the chat are kind. Yes, Jason. Thank you. We are kind to each other. You know, imagine if everyone in the world was like this chat. Be fixed. Be fixed. Everything would be fixed. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, if everyone in the world was like people in recovery that like are actually working a program, there would be peace in the world. No, I was thinking about that the other day, and like even yesterday, was it this morning? I was thinking like, oh, if everyone in the world was my wife, there would be no wars, and then I would have like 6 billion wives. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. There'd be a lot of attention to share. A lot of attention to give to all these women, these tailors. Yeah, no judgment here for sure. Well, anyway, so we're at 31 minutes. Genghis Khan, Genghis Tuan, that would be me. Yeah, without the grape word. I can't say the other word, but grape. You know what I mean by grape? I'm not gonna grape anyone. All right, yeah. So the live stream is coming to an end. But if any of you guys want to, have an extra question, a burning desire to share something, or if you're struggling and you're kind of like holding on to the last minute to say something, well, I'm gonna give another 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna shut it down and maybe spend some time with my single wife, my solo wife, my only wife, or play video games. Oh, what is that? Did you make me something? Oh, you make
It's like protein fake cookie dough.
Gotta try.
I haven't tried it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I just go in the fridge.
Okay, yeah. Oh, my jaw. You heard that?
Oh.
Ian said, it's been a pleasure. Hope everyone does good and has a great weekend. In the chat.
Good meeting.
Yeah, Antoine Anonymous.
Grateful to be here.
You know, there's no requirement to be a member. Just that you show up on Friday night, 9 p.m. Yeah, it's pretty good though. Like, it's 9:35 p.m., guys, and instead of going out and getting shit faced, you're here watching, listening to me ramble. Very good. So, everyone, hope you're doing well, and I hope that this live stream made your life a little bit of percent better, 0.001% better. Yeah, next week. I wonder if I should do it earlier. I don't know. I might do a survey on my Instagram, because I wonder if more, like maybe people at 9:35 p.m. they're kind of like, maybe they're watching like TV and they're about to go to bed or something with their girlfriends or something. I'm not sure. So I wonder if doing it earlier, more people can probably tune in. Like maybe I don't know, even 6:30 or something. I'll see. I'll see what the deal is with that. I'll think of something. There's also a class on Friday night. Maybe I don't know. What do you guys think? Just shoot at your last chat and tell me what would be the best time for me to do this. Anyways, thanks guys, and see you next week. Don't forget, if something happens, if a thought comes in, take a little moment of peace and quiet to meditate and breathe and ask yourself, what is the right thing to do? Can you give me an answer? Because somebody's listening out there and somebody will give you the answer. Think about that.